The story is bigger than, as I said at the beginning, it's bigger than any one person.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know.
Well, it seems like Dave Chappelle is ready to tell the story. Oprah Winfrey is in the news a lot, either for doing something heartwarming or for allegedly being shadier than most celebrities, and in this video the shady side is on full blast. Though be prepared for some shock ERS. There have been few times that I've been anywhere and not been sold out, from her questionable friendships with people like Harvey Weinstein and her endorsement of fraudulent healers. Oprah certainly has an alleged record of surrounding herself with people that really enjoy inflict harm on others, and if you were paying any attention during Kanye's rants, it certainly sounds like she's hanging with the dirty group of Hollywood elite.
There have been few times that I've been anywhere and not been sold out.
And this time it's Dave Chappelle pointing fingers at America's beloved TV host. Be sure to stick around because we'll be diving deep into all the details that allege Oprah being a handler for the elites. Or is it all just a conspiracy theory? Well, you have to keep watching to find out. Let's jump right in.
Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
It goes without saying that Oprah Winfrey is one of the most popular and influential people in the world, and her show is seen as one of the biggest platforms. But if the rumors are right, then she's been using it to keep celebrities in check and keep the Hollywood elites happy. Oprah has a rather long list of celebrities speaking out about her behavior towards them, and one of the most popular confrontations was when Toni Braxton accused Oprah of misleading her into an interview that changed her career for worse. Toni Braxton, less than 2 years after the release of Toni Braxton's 1996 album, Secrets, the singer found herself filing for bankruptcy despite being unable to go into details about the case. To the press, it was decided by her team that Toni should go on Oprah Winfrey's chat show, and the goal of the interview was simple: air Toni's side of the story and give her some grace with the public. The reality a nightmare for the singer. Instead of giving the long as I live singer the floor, Oprah put her on the stand like it was a courtroom, and she was both judge and jury. Oprah made comments about Toni's lifestyle and painted the situation like overindulging in nice things was the reason that Toni was broke and facing bankruptcy. But the actual truth was not drilled into as much as Oprah talked about Toni's alleged Gucci silverware. The truth was actually a sad reality. For the young singer, who had wound up with huge debts after being forced to self-fund her tour with saxophonist Kenny G, Toni Braxton had thought that the royalty check she was owed at the time would clear the debt. But it never amounted to anything, and she had to sue her label LaFace and Arista before filing for bankruptcy in January 1998. But people didn't care about that. Oprah had done more than enough damage by putting Toni on stage and belittling her, and Toni recognized it as the beginning of the end of her career.
I know you came from, middle-class parents, father's a preacher and all that, and I came from lower middle class. And I think when you haven't had a whole lot, then the idea of being broke isn't so bothersome, because you're used to being broke, and it's just a state of being. But when you've had, first of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware. When you had Gucci silverware and baby grand pianos, and you're used to wearing $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 gowns at a time, and spending $500 on a pair of shoes, it's a long drop.
Speaking to The Guardian in 2018, Toni Braxton explained that she knew that the interview was a bad idea. Before she even got to the set, I remember I didn't want to do it. And I was advised we should. I thought it magnified it. It was a bad call. It made it an enormous situation, and fans could not believe that Oprah took a low moment for the singer and made it even worse, as one person said, Oprah OA is trashy and classless. She's also in bed with some of the sickest pervs in the industry. She's done a lot of people dirty, it seems. And this brings us straight to the next part of this reveal, the company that Oprah keeps friendships and endorsements. Oprah has a long history of platforming some incredibly toxic people, leading to a lot of pain and suffering earlier in her career. She dedicated 2 shows to a man known as John of God, heavily implying that he may actually be able to heal sickness through faith in God. Jante Sharaderia, better known as Jan Dios or John of God, is a Brazilian medium health subject of a profile by Oprah, and accused using hundreds of women. John of God became famous for his intense methods of healing. Though he doesn't have a medical license, he performs both spiritual healing, praying intensely for believers and placing hands on them to cure their afflictions, and what appear to be actual surgical procedures without anesthesia. This healer has been written about for years, since his practice started in 1978. But an episode of Oprah in 2010 devoted to him raised his profile exponentially. Speaking on TV Globo, 3 women described their encounters with Freya to host Pedro Bale on condition of anonymity. Dutch choreographer Zahira Lenny Mouse decided to be named and said that during one of her trips to see the healer to be cured of the trauma of previous sexual took her into a back room and had her masturbate him. He then had her pick out a gemstone from a set and granted special treatment. She has also accused him of raping her during another session. Since news of the healer crimes hit, Oprah has taken down all the videos and written pieces that she made about John of God. But in one archive post, she described her visit to Brazil to meet the healer. I felt an overwhelming sense of peace just a week before. I'd been almost at the point of giving up. Now, inside myself, at the twists and turns this journey of building a network had taken, and knowing what we do know now about John and his crimes, Oprah's statement is even more sinister. But that's not the last time she was involved with someone who ended up guilty for sex-related crimes. Oprah's friendship with Harvey Weinstein has been the subject of many memes, discussions, and theories. But the one thing that everyone agrees on is that Harvey Weinstein is as shady as they come, and Oprah has never publicly condemned her good friend. Shortly after the essay allegations about Harvey Weinstein, Oprah was asked about it on CBS Mornings, and she pretty much deflected the entire time. Oprah made comments about Tony's lifestyle and painted the situation like overindulging in nice things was the reason that Tony was broke and facing bankruptcy. But the actual truth was not drilled into. As much as Oprah talked about Tony's alleged Gucci silverware, the truth was actually a sad reality for the young singer, who had wound up with huge debts after being forced to self-fund her tour with saxophonist Kenny G. Toni Braxton had thought that the royalty check she was owed at the time would clear the debt, but it never amounted to anything, and she had to sue her label LaFace and Arista before filing for bankruptcy in January 1998. But people didn't care about that. Oprah had done more than enough damage by putting Toni on stage and belittling her, and Toni recognized it as the beginning of the end of her career.